This video is sponsored by KeenlyDigital.com. If you are interested for the local SEO, social media marketing, and web development, so visit Keenly Digital. They also provide you other stuff which includes the local based SEO, social media management, ad management, content management, visual and graphics design, and much other resources which are very useful for your complete package. So visit KeenlyDigital.com, or you can get 10% off by email at the abdullah@keenlydigital.com, and you can get 10% off, which include all the powerful services that you need for your project as a business, right? So visit KeenlyDigital.com. Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope that everyone will be fine, and welcome back to another crash course. All right, so in this video I'm going to explain you about how to create the post using the JSON Placeholder API, which is a fake online API that provided a multiple post of data. So if you are ever working with the post, if you want to get some resources for the post, so you just need to click on it and you find a lot of bunch of requests here where you have the user ID, title, and the body. And also we will grab everything from using this API. We have built some UI, very basic UI, and we have used some limitations. So you see only the 5 records are you can fetch from the API. So how we can put some limitation and how we can do this all. So just jump into this crash course right from the scratch. So I hope you guys will enjoy. So we'll just jump in and get started here. Alright guys, so just welcome back here. So the first thing you need to do is to click and create a new file with the name of index.html. So I've just created a new file, and all you need to do is to just put some exclamation mark and so. Alright, so once you do that, and next thing you need to do is to change that title to be JSON Placeholder API, right? So the spellings are wrong, so that should be however, it doesn't make any impact with that, but still it's always good to have the spellings right. Okay, so the title name, and the next thing I'm going to do is to use some sort of very basic bootstrap, or we can create some custom index.html, right? So all I'm going to do is to create another file with the name of style.css and not caps. Alright, so style.css. Next I'm going to create a file of JS, so main.js. So I go back here and put some script tags down, and script source equal to main.js. Alright. So I'm going to explain each and everything from the scratch, and I hope you guys will really enjoy this. And next I'm going to put some link for my style.css. However, this course is not for the UI, but I just create a better UI, so just you guys can be more aware of some front end as well. So I just create a container. Inside the container we have our table, and inside the table we have our table head. And inside those table heading we have some table records which contain some columns. The first column that I want should be title, right? And then next I want to have here is the post. So just put here post, and next we have our action, which actually doesn't we don't need that. We don't have deleted any item from the post from the API, but just want to show you that how the appearance wise looks better. So how we can append that. So the main purpose of doing this, and might be later on we could add some, we could delete some data from here, right? So and down to that I created the table body, which contains some records. So tr, inside tr we have table data. So for the title I set that to be post 1, and for the post we have our this is, alright, just leave this to this is post 1. Alright, and for the button I just do simple thing there, the table data, and we use some class. Let me do just copy and paste from my previous code so that it would not take so much time, right? So I copy that and remove this one extra td, the closing td. Alright, so now I'm gonna open with my live server. If you are aware of how to, you can install the extensions from here, and I'm gonna open it with the open with live server, and it's gonna open up on my Edge. So I'm not gonna interested to open here. So just click here and show you real there. Okay, so I want to add up here font awesome. I just need to, all you need to do is to go to cdnjs.com and grab the font awesome. Alright, so once you go here and grab the font awesome.min.css, so that should be font awesome.min.css. Alright, just click on the font awesome and grab the all.min.css. I would there it is. So minified version, yeah. So just grab this and put that into your head tag and saves it. So see, now we have our button for the delete. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is let's create some CSS, a very basic CSS. So the first thing I need to have here is the box sizing. So I just have our box dash sizing and set that to be border dash box. Next we have our body. So use here background. I want to have my background color to be blue, something like blue. So 1C 223B. That's my background color. Or spellings are again wrong, so just do it background color. And next I have my font color to be white, and I want to have my family font dash family to be I choose here Ludica, right? And next I could use here as display, I'm using flex. So I want to create a video as well on flex so you guys can aware of that. So align content item to make everything into the center. And now I just want to here justify dash content, so everything stacked in between. And the height should be 100 viewport height. And I want to have here align item center, that's fine. And last thing I need to have here is the margin. I just need to give it 0. Alright, so inside the container, I need to have here a background color of hash 273349. And next we have to add here border dash radius of 10 pixels and box shadow to be 0, 5 pixel top right and 10 pixels, and give it the RGBA of 12, 16, 31.4 opacity and padding of 100 pixels. And next we have our margin. And last thing for a container should be width of 1000 pixels. All right. Yeah, double D. Okay, for the container, so let's see how it looks like this. So this looks so far like this. So just want to make that more better. Yeah, I just missed one more thing here, that I need to add my header. So for the header, it should be fine. Okay, that's fine. Leave it for the header. And next I have my table, which I have color of something light gray, padding of 10 pixels, width of 100%. And then I want to align my table heading and the data on align left. So it's 15 pixels padding, top right left bottom space, and the color for my TRs, for my table records, to identify some block looking. So I add up this, and for my delete button, I want to have cursor pointer. Whenever we hover on the button, it shows a pointer, color, and the border, font size, and padding. All you're aware of better, I believe. So now you see it looks like this, and all right, so delete button still not looks better, so I need to go back here and put some all.min.css. Let's see how it looks now. Yeah, that's fine. So I need this CSS and remove this unnecessary. I believe this one needed. Yeah, so this is working fine. All right, so we are done with our UI. Now comes to the important point, which is the main.js. This is our JavaScript. All right, so that's what you need to be very much clear with that. So I create a variable with the name of const. We're using here 6 standards. So const, I use here blog list, and remember we have DOM, document object model. We have document.get element by ID to pick up some IDs from there. So my first ID, which I have here, blog dash list, and remember this all coming from the I actually don't bring up my blog dash list, so I just give it the ID of blog dash list, right? I saves it, and just for some confirmation for you guys, if I just console.log and show you blog list, let's see how it looks. Basically everything that we have for our table body, that is the blog dash list, and by having this document.get element by ID, we can easily find the tag that we needed. So if I just go and console it, so you see that it picks, we can easily select, and you see it highlights our post one, right? So inside the table body we have table records. So everything that we have in our T body, which is the table body, we can easily grab using this document.get element by ID. I hope you guys understand. Most of you are already aware of this stuff. We can also use query selector. So for example, if I'm using here query selector, just for example, I just give a variable of item. So you can also use here document.query selector, and that's where you need to define that what you need it for. Like, let's suppose if you need a ID, so you need to give it the hash for something, and if you have some class, you need to define the item. So this is very much similar. We have document.query selector all, so any kind of tag, it automatically grabs it and gives up the results, right? So that's what is the main usage of query selector are. But right now we are happy with the document.get element by ID. And next we have our we need to define some function, right? So we are using the JSON Placeholder API. So I created a function with the name of function get blocks. All right, inside this function I'm using here a variable with the name of response equal to, now I'm using here fetch, and fetch we fetch the API, right? So the API that we are using, just grab this all URL JSON placeholder.typicode.com, but we need some post, so I click on here and just grab this all URL, right, and put this inside the fetch. All right, now we need this limit here. You see there are a lot of data on this URL, right? But I want that we can display on the page only the 5 records. So for this I need to define some limit here. So for the limit, all I need to do is to simply let limit equal to 5, and very easy, all you need to do is to put some parameters. So question mark underscore limit equal to, and we use string interpolation, which is again a fantastic way to grab the dynamic results. So I use this, and now I want to get the data, but here you need to see that we are using async and await, because we need to get the response, we need to get the promise, which is actually the better way of doing is the async and the await function. So all I need to do is to use here async. So I use here async function, so get all the asynchronous record which is coming from the API, and here I need to give it the await for my for the promise, and that promise will be we get the promise here with the rest.json, right? We need the data in JSON format, right? If you are aware of JSON, that's good. If not, you can watch my video. Basically, JSON is the JavaScript object notation. All right, so and simply I need to return the data. All right, so what does that actually means? I want to show you real quick. So all it means that if I create a function, now we need to get those posts and show into our DOM. Basically, right now we have our dummy data, which is simply this is post 1 and post 1, not a dynamic. This is what we have given, static values. So you need to see async functions, and I give it the show blogs on our DOM. So I created a function here, and I created a variable as well. So const blog equal to I await and get all the blogs. All right, so I get all the blogs. So basically this function get this result and return the data, and we get the results using by having the promise, and all I need to do is to call the function, right? So I call the function, and let's do console.log and do it blogs. All right, saves it, and let's see. So you see here we have 5 records, which comprises of body, title, and a user ID. So now we have 5 results. So that's because of we put some limit. Otherwise, we have a large amount of data right there. Okay, so next I need to do is to remove everything, but later on I would I do it. Now you see here that for our table body, this is our table body with the ID. We already have used the document.get element by ID, and inside this we have our tr. Now if we want to get the dynamic results here, so all I need to do is to remove that and just remove this. So the question arises, the table body now have child element, which is tr, and how we are going to create it. So very simple. All you need to do is to just remove this console log, and that's all you need to do is to blocks.forEach. You can use forEach, for loop, whatever, but I suggest forEach is a new higher order JavaScript functions, which very much similar to for, and this is even a better one to use, and a lot much makes our code robust. So blocks.forEach, and this is basically the index. So I pass here block, and you can write this way, or you can write very much same way like this, right? So I prefer to use the newer standards. So just use here fat symbol. So so we are passing only the one element. So block, actually that's gone wrong. Okay, now that's fine. All right, we pass the parameter, and next we need to here do is to create a new element. So I created an element which is tr. So I use document.createElement. So create element is a property of document object model which creates the new element. So all I suggest, because we have our if you go and see your index.html, which is the table body, and you remember that inside these table body we have this trs, right? So I just cut this out, and now we need to create first the tr, and then we have to put the data inside that. So I just saves it, and now we have created our tr, and inside tr we have another property which is known as inner HTML. Basically whatever we have inside, we need to create some data and show us in our tr. So all I need to do is to put that inside the HTML. Inner HTML means put everything inside that tr, and now we need to append. Later on we will append that, but here I would put everything here. But we don't need tr. The reason, because we already created that, and that's tr, put all the data inside that, right? So that's all cool, and remove this tr closing tags. All right, now we're done with that. Next, I want to put everything. So here you see we have the list, which is the blog list, which is the main parent element for our TR. So I grab this blog list, I put this here, and inside this I need to add its child, which we have created, which is TR, right? So that's as simple as good, right? And I believe we are done, right? So let's save this and check our results. So you see here, fantastic. So this is post one, post one, post one. The reason why, because we are looping the data, but we are not getting the dynamic results. So all I need to do is to remove that and put some dollar, and the index we pass here is the blog, and blog dot. Now this is the dot which gets the property. If I just want to show you again where it goes, yeah, there. So console.log and put here blogs, and put this out for a while, and you see here we have a bunch of properties. We have our body, we have the ID and the title. So for this I need to grab, if I want to grab here the title here or the ID here, all I need to do is to put is just to get this object. So with the loop we have our index, which is the blog, and now I'm gonna again use string interpolation and the index, which is the blog, and if I need to have your ID, let's show you real quick. This should be the all right, that should be ID, right? And that should be title. All right, that's cool. So the blog.id, now we want to have our title, which we have, so dollar blog.title, saves it, and that was the mistake. So if I just want to see, and now you see that we have our record. Something is wrong because I forget to bring this closing tag for the ID. Now check this out. So everything is working fine and cool, right? So we can easily fetch all the record using the JSON placeholder using a JavaScript. So look how simple and how neat and clean it is. Just want to repeat again everything. What I do is I created the table. We have our ID with a blog dash list, right? I copy that and we create and select the element, right? For selecting the element, we first create a function. We need to have a fetch the URL. So we're using a async function. We get the promise using await and get the response in a JSON and return the data. Once we return the data, we call into the function because we need to show the property in on our document object model on our page, which it means. So we get this variable and get all the results in using this function. And once we get all the results, we use a loop function. So for each works like we have the values which we are getting from this variable. We use a loop. We put the index, create the first element, and after creating the element, we put the inside the inner HTML. And also we have some very basic delete button as well, which we don't need that, but still want to show you. And after doing this all, because we want to put that inside the parent element, which is table body, and inside we have a table record, which are TRs. So we put everything inside the block list by using the append child function, and everything which TR and as much as TR we generate here will be created and it will append to the parent element, right? So this is all we have done and call the functions down there. So I hope you guys will enjoy, and in the next video I'm going to explain you how to use filter, and we will also create a new element using another video, right? So I hope you guys will enjoy. So let's jump in for the next tutorial. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I want to see you for the next time.